Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we are on to making PDFs now, and before we continue there, I did see a slight problem with my code. Let me try and log in as an admin, and let's do that. Okay, so I get this issue here, line 127, tests model. So let's fix that real quick. It's line 127, new version, awesome. Okay, so test model, let's look for that model, and where is that? Right here, line, what is that line? 127. So let's see what's going on there. 127, okay, get to mark count. Okay, okay, so right here it's saying unknown variable school ID. Okay, so where is this supposed to come from? Oh, so this is because we've never actually used this part. We always use this other side here. So let's see what's happening here. Select tests from school ID, school ID. Okay, so we need to know the current school ID so that we can get that information. So maybe let's use the auth right here. So I'm going to say auth get school ID. Let's try this. Oops, there we go. That should solve the problem. So let's refresh, and there we go. Okay, so problem solved there. And so I can go back now and log in as a teacher. But even like this, we can still do our thing, I guess, because if I go to my students and I go to Guy, I know this one has done tests before, and there we go. So here I can click on view. Oh, look at that. So there's two views now. So no wonder I was thinking something is weird here. So there's that view and there's this one right here. So we should remove one of these. So let me see, in the includes here, it should be marked inc. This should be the one. Marked include. So if lecturer, then we show this view, and I think we should remove this part because it's not needed. It's from the other ones that we copied this from, because really when a test is marked, you just need to view it. So no need to add some if statements there. So let's view that. Okay, so we are viewing this particular test, and what we want is to create a PDF. Now the thing is, the PDF won't work with Bootstrap because we can't start loading the Bootstrap we can't start loading Bootstrap here, and that's because we are in the controller here, and we want to remain with the option to redirect our page. So we don't want to echo out any HTML here whatsoever. And not only that, it just wouldn't work doing it like this, because as you can see, when we say write HTML, the HTML is in here. There's no contact with the outside world, I guess, unless maybe we do a file get contents or something like that. But I want us to try and avoid all that. So what I'm going to do instead is let's generate the content that we want first of all here, and then after that we can put it inside a variable and then put it there. So for now I'm going to mute these parts that are putting any output of any kind, and then what I will do is let's echo something instead. So let's close the PHP tags here and reopen them again somewhere here. That way we have a space to put some HTML. So if I put div here, I can say something like hello. Okay, so let's go back and let's change this into make PDF, and there we go. So we get the hello like that, as simple as that. But all this takes a while to load, so I want to just mute the whole bunch of code right here up to here, like so. That way we can load a whole lot faster. Okay, good. Now the thing is, we want the view to be similar to marked test, like this one right here. So let me open a second version of this so that I have two places to look. So I'll open the second version, change this one to make PDF. Okay, then I have this to compare with. Now, to collect this information, we're using the marked single controller. So let's take a look at the marked single here, and there it is. Now, remember that once a test is marked and everything, there's no going back here. We can't start marking, we can't start changing things on this one. There's really nothing to change here. So what we should do is everything in marked single that talks about posting should be removed because it doesn't really do anything. So if something was posted from here, this is marked single. So if I select this bracket, I see another one down here, and so which means I can remove this entire part without consequence. So let me save that and refresh. So nothing has changed, of course, because those were used for posting something. So there's this one, set as marked as well. We don't need to use this, so remove that. And what other things were we doing? If it's a test and submit, we can't do that anymore here. Let's remove that as well. What else here? This is just purely for reading information. Set marked variable, data, submitted. So submitted and marked. We don't really need these variables now, do we? But if we remove these guys, that might cause problems actually. So get student information, we need that. Okay, so at least it seems we've removed what we don't need. And what is this? This is updating something, right? So what's going on? Update test set editable is equal to 0. Why this? If row disabled, I have no idea what I'm doing on this part and why this is even a thing. Editable 0 where ID limit 1. Okay, so maybe let's remove this as well. Yeah, doesn't seem to have affected anything at all. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've trimmed down the amount of code that we are using here. And then once we've done this, we can as well now we can use the rest of this to create a PDF. So from the top here, I can copy everything as it is. Maybe up from the top, very top there. Copy up to maybe let's try up to here. Okay, copy. And let's go to make PDF and right about here we shall paste. Okay, so we are doing that, and now I need to read the ID, for example. There's this ID that we need and user ID from there, so copy all that. Let's go to make PDF in the index there. Let's paste. Okay, cool. So is there a way to Okay, so let's see the errors that we will get. I'll refresh. We don't get any errors so far. That is fine. And I'm guessing we haven't gotten anything either, because we're supposed to read from the database, and those values are new. So what I will do now is I want to use this other test, this one right here. So I'm going to copy everything after marked single. This is the test ID, and then the guy.dude here, or the user ID. So I'm copying both of those just to add them to the end here, slash, and put them there like this. That way it has something to read. Okay, so now that we've reached at this point, we should have good information by this section here, which we can use to create a table of some kind. So I'm going to go to marked single now for the view. So marked single tab, marked single view. This is the one. Yes. And then it goes into this one, which shows the answers. So what I want here is, first of all, to make sure that I check an if statement here. So copy that. This is from this marked single view. So right here we want to paste this. Wait a second. Let me just put it right here. We can edit this later. So another PHP tag and put end if, like so. Okay. Now keep in mind that these values are inside data at this point. Okay. So data like this is the one that contains all this. They're not actual variables. So what we need to do is change that, because or what we can do instead is just do extract data right here. So right at the end here, I'll just say extract, like that, data. So what extract does is it gets the array, and for example, this is an array with an item student row. It will extract this, whatever value is in here, into a variable called student row, which then we can use here. So just like the things are here, it's going to work out just fine. So let's refresh. If we see hello, then it means everything is working as intended. So now if we come back to the single view again, there is a table here. Let's see where we can start from. So all this div up to here, the top part is okay. We can copy all of this. Wait a second, div, okay. It's just that the classes will not work because of Bootstrap. We don't have Bootstrap here. So let's see what we're going to get instead. So I'll paste this here like that. So push everything over like that. And let's see what we get. So refresh, and there we go. So we get my first test information. As you can see, somewhat you can see what's going on. So what I want to do instead is, let's remove these class row because they really don't do anything here. Center is okay. The test name there. Let's see. What we can do instead is to use styles in here, and let's try font family, for example. Let's try something generic like Tahoma, and then font size. Let's try 13 pixels. Okay, so there we go. Things are changing, and now we need a table. Class column, let's remove that. Let's remove that as well. These table classes don't do anything as well, so we can just remove them to save space. We don't need any links here because this is not going to link anywhere anyway. So let's move all that like so. Try and make it as compact as possible. Okay. And let's remove this one as well. Let me move this here. Okay, so center closing, center opening, that's fine. And then there's a table here. Let's remove this link as well here. How many more links remaining? I guess that's it. Okay. So table header, table data. This makes one row, and that is okay. This is fine. Okay, so let's come back, refresh, and there we go. Okay, so here we just need to style this table, and we're going to do that. I'm not sure why the text is so small. Let me try and increase the font size here. Yeah, maybe that looks much better. But this is a table down here, so you know what I would do is let me create another table here and shift everything over because I'm not satisfied with what's going on here. Or what I can do is just move this table because there's a row on each one of these. Let me move that down here. There's one row, two row. Maybe let's just add some more. So I'm going to move this table thingy to the top, just under the main div here. Let me push this over actually. Then I can remove these centers. Same with this one. Okay, so there's one item here which we're going to put in a row. So this is one row, two items maybe. Okay. Let's move this here so that we can see things a bit clearly. So table header, table data, table header, table data. That's how it goes, like this. Table header, table data. So two things at a time in each one of these. Let me move this down here. So clarity here is what I'm looking for. I want to be sure what's going on. Okay, so we have a table, table row. Now here we need to put table data instead of this. Let's actually put, table data. Same thing with this, H5. Table data as well. What's this one? Same thing, table data. So I'm pressing Ctrl D to select the next available one as well. So let me move this inward. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. Okay, so the whole thing becomes just a table like this, which is fine. That's what I was going for. But I want to put the header in one row. So I'll close this table row here. So this test, let's see, table data, column span 4. So this goes all the way from one end to the other. And what else here? This is a closing. Let's create an opening as well.